every white person in this room who would be happy to be treated as this society in general treats our citizens, our black citizens. If you, as a white person, would be happy to receive the same treatment that our black citizens do in this society, please stand. You didn't understand the directions. If you white folks want to be treated the way blacks are in this society, stand. Nobody's standing here. That says very plainly that you know what's happening. You know you don't want it for you. I want to know why you're so willing to accept it or to allow it to happen for others.
I ain't nothing. Like the truth ain't nothing. Like the truth ain't nothing but the truth. I am nothing but a spoken word poet. Now, a few of you have accused me of being a teacher, and others even go so far as to call me a friend. But I'm just a punk, mixed breed, recovering drunk trying to hold up my own end when they tell us to hold our fire. But we can see the whites of their lies printed right there in our textbooks, framed by the red and the blue of the powers that be. The same ones that turned the letter X into a commodity, and the indigenous nations into a mystery. So now from sea to shining sea, we have kids who can't even cross their own house or dot their third eyes, so they can't even recognize that their spirit is being bled into a bottle that will soon be spun for no one. And whenever I question why we're stuck in standardized tests, I'm told to mind my own P's and Q's and just keep on marching to their tune, like I'm supposed to be strapping on army boots when I should be marching with a million men and women and trans folks down that historic route, so we can see the story's roots before they just traded in their red coats for blue. And they have the nerve to carve the conquerors' faces in Mount Screwmore, overlooking the spiritual significance of the incomplete Crazy Horse Monument, pointing towards unfinished business about ancient tribal societies, when it was all about family and metaphor was reality. And we all understood that that trickster coyote, well, he might have busted some double talk, but it wasn't until the Great White Father showed up that everyone started speaking with forked tongue. And if we could just catch them young, then maybe they'd learn how to use their chromosomes like algebra and biology, where X plus X equals life and breath. Why and why only make two things? Jack and shh. But Jack is still so obsessed with his own candlestick that he don't recognize that there ain't no trick to getting Jill up that hill, because no matter how nimble he is with his skills, he's just too damn quick. Quick to play the rabbit when the trouble hits. But I guess that's how it goes when you're forced to grow on recycled poetry and pre-owned prose like Yo MTV selling out the movement to Starbucks, spinning our straw into their gold. And since wisdom is imprisoned in old folks' homes, children will have sleepwalking through Sega Dreamcast instead of casting their dreams into every grain of sand. So while their thumbs go numb, entire oceans spill right through their hands. But there has got to be a way to save the day, even if the Aztecs and the Mayans say that Atlantis kind of way, that we only got a few years left. We have still got to end all this theft and relearn our ABCs and 1, 2, 3s, because once we have the propensity to see that there are far more than just 3 wise men and women and trans folks who deserve to be heard, then history will be alive and well and living in spoken word. Y'all ready for some poetry? Yeah. Okay, I know there's like more than 3 people in this room. Are y'all ready for some poetry? Yeah! There we go. So we're going to try this out. Okay, I'm going to steal this from someone from the Bay Area. Okay, so like, if you have this much energy and you're going to give it to the poets, what does that sound like? Give it to me. This much energy. Give it to me. Give it to me. What if I ask you for this much energy? Give it to me. What if I ask you for this much energy? Give it to me! There we go! Okay, so this is, for those of you who may have been hiding under a rock for a while, and against the will of certain folks, it's a still Black History Month, which my friend and good compadre, Billy Tuggle from Chicago, calls it Black Futures Month. And something that we have to recognize, that this country, Black history did not start with slavery. That's white history. In fact, Black history is way further back than that. And we need to understand that so that we can understand the future. So, we have invited down an amazing poet from the Bay Area. I cannot wait for you to experience this, who's going to tell you what it really is like to experience America as a Black person. and not hold back, because this isn't about checking boxes for a month. This is about actually learning from each other and maybe growing and becoming something better. Y'all like better things, right? Who doesn't like better things? Who likes better things? That was like here. Let's try it again. Who likes better things? There we go. So here comes some better things. So from the Bay Area, she is an amazing poet, vocal artist. She was the host of the Berkeley Poetry Slam. She helped. Oh, hello. Microphones, please.
Grab the other one. Grab the other one.
Grab the other one. Check, check. Technical difficulties. Check, check, check. Okay. So she was the host of the Berkeley Poetry Slam. She helped create the Oakland Poetry Slam. They hosted nationals, and she was part of that. So like when we're about to give you poetry, we're about to give you some effing poetry. Y'all ready for some effing poetry?
Yeah.
Let's hear it for Nazelah Jamison. Let's hear it.
You play a part in everything that happens to you. Not to say that it's your fault the bear attacked you, or that you provoked it. Perhaps you decided to bathe in honey that day, or you didn't run when you had the chance. Maybe you fancied yourself the bear whisperer, or you thought playing dead would prevent being dead, as if death were the worst possibility. Examining your part is not blaming, it is empowering. The bear is here to maul people, and you are here to learn lessons. Next time, bring a gun to the bear fight. Or better yet, don't fuck with bears. So, do you like poetry?
Yeah.
I can't hear you. Do you like poetry?
Yeah.
Okay. I know we're at college, but apparently this is a pretty soundproof room. So feel free to make some noise if you would like.
What?
I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Please make some noise if you would like. My name is Nazelah. I'm black. And I'm loud. So you can be loud with me if you would like. I'm going to start out with a blessing. This is called Best Blessings. Bless the thing that broke me, the wrecking ball shattering my glass ego, for I am now open to receive everything that is. Bless what didn't love me, the vine not wrapped around my throat, the unfettered life which slipped through the strangling grasp. Bless the pains of growth, the muscle-building struggle, the cleverness of time, this flight as I look down and back. It is how I got here. It is why and where and who I've become. This mosaic, this transformation, this miracle which remains. So if we're going to do Black History Month, it starts with our personal history. Here is a little bit of mine. This poem is called Cannibal. How many vegetarians in the room? Oh. It's not for you. In church, we ate God every first Sunday. Or rather, we ate the body of his son, our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. Went home in the afternoon, washed him down with grape-flavored blood, and went home in the afternoon to chew on the actual flesh of the dead and unholy. I grew up country poor. We only shopped in grocery stores for canned tornado food and milk. Our farmer relatives fed us. I spent late summers snapping beans and shelling peas for freezing. First 2 weeks of after school was cleaning freshly run chickens. By spring, we were down to hogshead cheese and fatback sandwiches. By summer, dinner was grits and fried canned tomatoes. God bless slaughter season and early harvest. When I was 7, I once had a pet chicken. It was then that I learned the meaning of life. When I came home from school and she was silently on my plate, her cage and my belly both empty. Hunger eclipsed my righteous indignation. God is great, God is good. Let us thank him for this food. Vegetarianism is a religion proselytized by city-dwelling atheists and rich folk. It is an elite Western ideology, attractive to those with no immediate fear of starvation, consumers of billboards and articles and philosophies, drinkers of smug self-righteousness, to wash down the multivitamins when the rice cakes were not enough. Humans at their basest eat what is edible. Country Christians eat by the Bible. Jesus gave the people flesh. Jesus gave the people fish, invited us to eat his flesh. Basically said, fill your belly with what I have availed to you. I am no longer Christian, but I eat what is available to me. My hunger eclipses your politics. Perhaps I'm wrong. Maybe my country grandmas and aunties lived well into their 90s in spite of hog maws and pig knuckle sandwiches. And Mother Earth would prefer that we set domesticated food animals free to overpopulate and die from mass starvation. What I do know, though, is PETA protesters are made of meat. When this earth inevitably transitions, when all the crops dry up and blow away, when all the animals have gone to slaughter due to famine and waste, when there are no more chickens, there will be vegetarians. I will eat what is available to me. Hunger eclipses everything and transforms saints into saviors. All right. So, I have a really good friend who has been putting out prompts every day for like the last month or so. And I don't always write to prompts, but some of them have been good. And so this is the prompt that she put out a week ago. Using Maggie Smith's poem, After the Divorce, I think of something my daughter said about Mars as a reference. Write a poem that begins with the line, if you go, you have to stay gone. This is the reference poem. Once you go, you can never come back. If you return to Earth, the gravity would turn your bones to noodles. I mean, your skeleton would sort of melt. So if you go, you have to stay gone. This is the poem I wrote to that prompt. It is called Gone. If you go, you have to stay gone. Become a ghost or a shadow or silence. Plug your ringing ears. Put away your drumming heart. Remember that there you breathe too hard, and your whispered prayers created violent darkness. Recall the garishness of your smile in his barren presence, the chalkboard fingernail screech of jarring tears screaming down your face. Leave no footprints or breadcrumbs. You are not Gretel. Make no airport-style announcements. Take no round trips. Break off and discard all rearview mirrors. All that is behind you, will only transform you into a salty pillar. Go, and quickly. Dodge second thoughts and one more times. Take only one-way streets. Follow the sun to where it rests. End up anywhere but here. Abandon all you do not need. Fear, unhappiness, tainted love. He will need those back to keep him company in your eternal absence. How y'all doing? You all right? You still like poetry? Let's be black for a minute. This is a black girl poem. I am a black woman, so indisguisably, undeniably, blatantly black, I cannot hide in a room full of conservatives, or behind an American flag, or under a live stream of tears. They don't hunt me all the time. Not always hungry for my milk or meat, never interested in saving my life, most content to stand on my back and ignore me. My persistent elevation is most annoying. My majestic wings offend. I fully expect to die every day in my every life aspect. Minding my business is detrimental. Calling for help is fatal. I am the most dangerous animal in America. My success is a threat to my counterparts. My continued existence is a slap in the face to the rosy-cheeked lynch mob, mad that I keep saving the day while losing limbs and life and heart, upset that I regenerate, eat fire, and spit resistance. You corral me and mine into a cage created from your disregard and underestimation and recurrently return to find it empty. You cannot contain or reduce me. I will not be broken, tamed, or destroyed, despite you keeping my mirrors shattered and my ceilings truncated and made of Pyrex. Though you would keep me wedged between a rock and your semi-firm testicular fortitude. I will continue to bring blessed night into your harshly lit and deadly daydreams. So stay mad, but hydrated. Make sure your blanket of privilege is thick and flame retardant, lest my fiery and perpetual rebirth burn this alabaster patriarchy to the ground. I have a set list because I'm a professional. Let me see. Okay. This is all about you. I was worried about what you would think, so I carefully crafted the image of myself in the mirror. This morning, to your standards, pressed and sprayed my kinky coils, binded my belly in latex and Velcro, folded and tucked my generational trauma, covered my face in every color but my own, lashes and lace front sold separately, self-esteem not included. Your opinion being of utmost importance to me and how I look in public, because I always want to impress you. You, the checker in bathroom hallways for the legendary man in a dress. You, who judge if one looks handicapped enough as they make their way from that space. You, the caller of managers and police overseers whenever one somehow forgets their place. You are there to remind me that it is all about race unless I say so, because then I'd be playing some type of card that apparently only I hold. But I should not say anything at all when you are speaking. Speak only English when you are in earshot. Never speak about white people or injustice or trans lives or genocide or have a differing opinion, lest you might be offended. Let me remember that you are the American default, represented by the white stripes on the flag. The bloody red ones, of course, representing the rest of us. The stars being the ones in heaven, purported by the book you have wielded to oppress all non-white, non-male, non-yous. You being a euphemism for white heterosexual American, for normal human being, for most privileged person, most served, most heard. Most days, I just stay home. It takes a lot of energy sometimes to be seen as both black and not a predator, both a woman and not prey. It takes a lot of energy to be seen at all. It is safer most times to make myself invisible to you, to not cause any trouble, that is, stand up for myself, to keep myself smaller than my shadow because you are notoriously moody and unpredictable. You are fickle and prone to deadly outbursts at times. So as much as I would like to be indifferent to what anyone thinks of me, I find myself begrudgingly invested in what you think of me, because I like to spend the majority of all my time staying alive. I wrote this poem 7 years ago, and I'm really dismayed that it's still relevant. This is called Ice. It is cold in the desert at night, hundreds of miles away from home, taking refuge beneath cacti and potential liberty. And then they come to put the shivering and desperate in deep freeze, appropriately named ice, For there is nothing more frigid than rejection, than being shoved into a room and forgotten like so much snow shoveled to the side of a pristine road. To many, America is merely a glorious mirage, an imitation promise, gold at the end of a counterfeit rainbow which immediately dissolves upon contact. The fearful fuel their angry hatred with myths of dirty rivers of crime and sinister threats flooding our way of life. In reality, the border is a frozen dam where abominable uniformed snowmen herd other people's displaced children into cages under unheated tents because these people are undocumented immigrants. Satisfied, apathetic citizens turn off Fox News so they can take their offspring on day trips to the zoo. Illegal aliens deserve what they get, but we love animals. Land of the freeze, home of the beige. Be careful, brown brother, in these tundran streets. Dress American and learn English. Drive slow. Be inconspicuous. Save up and rent a Caucasian companion if you can, lest you be snatched off the sidewalk by a gang of gun-toting polar bears with badges and eventually ejected back to the desolate war zone from whence you came. I, as a black citizen, will pray earnestly that you safely evade the ice storm as I continue to dodge the target on my own back as well. This is not a poem. I did not write a poem about this. I will not write another poem about tragedy, this tragedy, and hospitals visited by hostile explosions, and toddler-sized body bags, and graffitied last goodbyes. But I will refrain from writing yet another poem about current and also ongoing events because someone else has written a poem about this. And I'm just a black woman in America. I'm just a poor working artist who shouldn't really have an opinion. And I had better keep my lack of opinion, my absence of opinion to myself, lest my expressed anger at civilian casualties or am I forgetting the poem? Okay, and my frustration at violent displacement and my dismay at all the vast death lead anyone to believe that I have chosen a side. I get to be all the way over on this side of the vast ocean. There are no tanks in my backyard. There are no guns pointed at my face today. But if I pray for peace, that puts me on the wrong side in the eyes of currently winning. History belongs to the winners, and also the land, and also the future, but I am not the winner. I am also the loser, and also the minority. Also, I am the hunted. So let me just shut up now, lest my existence make me more of the enemy than I have always been. This poem does not exist. Neither do injustice or politics. You know what? I'm about to be a human right now and look up my poem.
You got this poem.
There it is. This poem does not exist. Neither do politics or injustice. There is no offense, only the offended. No bodies buried in rubble, no relief in sight. All fingers and guns point in the opposite direction. There is nothing to see here. Go back to your regularly scheduled everything else. Ignore a war. Ignore a genocide that is not happening and another war that the U.S. is definitely not supporting. Watch a movie. Make a TikTok. Live your best life and pay no attention to this poem that I did not write about this. I have a couple of more poems, and then I think I get to hear you. This is called Man of War. We do not love him. this pseudo-dictator, this cheap empty wine bottle wrapped in barbed wire, this reanimated battered equine nightmare, this sentient detached fist. He haunts us incessantly, hides behind our shoulders and tired temples, seeps into our relationships and unrelated conversations, lives in the space between our paychecks and inside our deepest anxieties and just beneath the daily joys. We need you to know. We do not love this erasure of history and dignity, this caricature of American success, this celebrated and blatant oppression. His projected light is a sickly yellow. The water he begrudgingly pours is a poisonous green trickle. A percentage of us have drunk from his noxious puddle. These are the zombies among us, shambling aimlessly toward their own ruin, voraciously devouring their own humanity, impervious to empathy. They do not belong to us, as reluctant as we are to admit it. They may be forever lost. We can never ignore their absence, but this orange atom bomb who calls himself a man, this utterly spiritually bankrupt disgrace who crowns himself a king, this naked emperor who refuses to release this mortal coil, him we do not love, and will rejoice as we forget someday that he ever existed at all.
Give it up one more time for Nazelah. Give it up. And I mean like, oh, Peter, give it up. So originally we were going to do some other poets if people wanted to come up. No one's really approached me or let me know. So if you want to, let me know. But I'm going to go ahead and take a moment, if you wouldn't mind. First of all, thank you all for those of you who are still here. Appreciate your time and energy. The one thing that we all have to invest is time and energy. So thank you for investing your time and energy here. I would like to open up the floor to some questions. If people have questions, keep in mind that Professor Sawyer is in the back, and I know some of you are in her class, and Professor Wolf is standing here, and some of you are in Professor Wolf's class. So if you want to look good, ask some questions. But I would like to start us off, if you don't mind. If there was something or some things that you really wish folks who are not black understood about the black experience, what would you want them to be able to understand?
I mean, there's a history that brought us here. I know for myself, and probably a lot of black people that I can speak for, the current experience that we're going through politically is not new. It's really not new for us at all. I know that it's new for a lot of non-black people, and especially white people, because it's really some culture's first time they've actually been persecuted by the ruling party. Generally speaking, privilege keeps them from that, but we as black people have, since we've been in this country, been experiencing what I think everyone else is going through. And so we would be a good resource to figure out how to get through this. And also would like not to be approached as a savior right now. I think that we all collectively have to save ourselves.
And then I'll go with one more question so y'all can prepare your questions. It's obvious that you have some things to say. Why choose poetry and music as the way to say those things?
I think that for most artists, and it's true for myself, it wasn't a choice. Like, that wasn't a choice. Those are just the tools I have. I was going to express it anyway. I think if I wasn't a poet or a musician or an artist, I would be some type of orator. My father was a Southern Methodist minister, so I might have even been a preacher. But I think I would have gotten a message out regardless. I think the means that I use are just what I naturally have been given.
Yeah! Okay. Who here would like to ask Nazelah a question? And what questions you have? Right on, here I come. I am not old. I am not old.
My question is, where are you from and when did you get into poetry? Like at what age?
Where am I from? I will simplify it. I am from Philadelphia, by way of Atlanta, by way of South Carolina is where I was born. So I was raised in the South until I was 15, and then I moved to Philly, and then from there, as a young adult, I moved here. I started writing poetry when I was 8. My first poem was actually a political poem. So.
I'm going to piggyback on that just because I have a little inside information. Can you please elaborate a bit on South Carolina and what coming from South Carolina means for folks who may not know the actual history of our country?
Among other things, South Carolina was the location of one of the largest, I don't know what they call it, but I call it like a waiting port. It's where they imported a majority of the Africans that were enslaved in this country. They came there and then they were like dispersed out to various states. And it is the home of Gullah Island, which my family is Geechee in South Carolina. If you don't know the history of Gullah Island, part of the history of Gullah Island is they imported a lot of Africans to South Carolina from the same places in Africa, which meant that instead of them being mixed and having different languages and cultures, a lot of them had the same language and culture. And they waited so long, like it was such a long period of time people were there, they created a rice plantation on Gullah Island, and they basically had those Africans to work that plantation. They were enslaved, but because they had such a strong community, because they came from a lot of the same places and spoke the same language and had the same culture, they became one of the best producing plantations, and they worked so independently that they were left for weeks at a time without supervision even. They just kind of worked a farm, and they would come and pick up the rice every few weeks or whatever. And then, you know, Civil War, and everything changed. So.
Anyone else have any questions they would like to ask? Now is the time. Here I come. I am not old. I am not old.
When you're creating poetry, is there a difference in the way you go about creating poems that are meant to be written versus meant to be spoken?
No, and that's a really good question. I was writing for years before I ever actually read poetry publicly or performed poetry. I was actually a performer of a few different varieties. I was a dancer, I was and still am an actor, I played in bands, like I did everything else before I actually read poetry. When I got ready to read poetry, my process was choosing the ones that were most accessible and performable of what I wrote. And so my writing process is still the same. I don't write for the microphone, I just write. And then sometimes the ones that are less abstract or more like accessible are the ones I read.
Other questions? Here I come.
So, when you were a winner of certain contests in the Bay Area, is that what I heard correctly?
I have won the odd poetry slam from time
Did
to
you-
time.
Oh, so my main question is, were you able to read either one of those poems to us, or have you?
Oh, what, a poem that I won with?
Yes.
I can if you would like.
Encore, encore, encore. Give it up for Nazelah!
First of all, can I get raunchy in this room?
We're adults.
I'm just asking. It's not like completely profane, but can I get raunchy in this room?
Free
Express.
speech.
Yeah, express.
have virgin ears, we're good.
For real, if anyone would like to step out, before it gets raunchy, you're welcome to do so. We don't want to subject anyone to anything. Okay, give it to us.
You've got a big ass dick. It presses me against the car door when we're driving home. It gets in the way when we're all alone. It sucks the air out of every room. It's your favorite topic of conversation. Your dick comes out of your mouth more than it goes into mine. Intoxicates you more than wine used to when you were a drinker. Now the two heads are combined and they're both way too much dick for me. No wonder you can't keep it in your pants. It's a wonder you can drive or walk or dance with that much dick weighing you down. And of course, yours is always the biggest one around. Not that you'd ever admit to comparison shopping. Yes, it's all about your dick. Not my feelings, but your dick. And anyhow, I better just get over it quick, because I'm just not paying enough attention to your dick. Your penis has come between us. Must get sore from you stroking it so much. You've given it pet names like confidence and self-esteem because you love it so. I call your dick narcissist and big-ass ego. You smack me with it constantly just to remind me that it's there. Not that I didn't notice the sticky arrogance in my hair. So proud you can't keep it to yourself. That's why now you're with someone else. Let her roll your wheelbarrow full of phallus around. Let her get pounded by your rock-hard self-centeredness and see if she feels as fucked as I did. Maybe we can look for your balls together. Everything doesn't come in a set. But seriously, I wish you and your dick the very best. When his dick is his best friend, a man often finds himself alone. Hope your hot cock keeps you warm on lonely nights when the ice you keep your heart and melts to tears. Don't call me. Your dick has permanently plugged my ears. Besides, you only ever spoke to me an asshole. I don't understand that shit. Now I can breathe. Now there is laughter. May you and your big ass dick live happily ever after.
I don't see what was so raunchy about that. Okay. Any other questions? Anyone have any last comments? Let us thank Nazelah one more time for her time and her energy. Thank you for coming all the way down from the Bay Area to share yourself with us.
Hey, Mr. Wolf,
Yeah. Oh.
I was curious about how your acting came about.
How
Acting, voice acting?
Just regular acting?
Well,
Oh, Rick,
you
yeah.
do both?
I've done.
Well, your acting career, voice or film or...
That was so I have pretty much been a performer since I was a kid. The first time I wanted to perform was, they had Annie auditions. This is how old I am, I'm aging myself. They had auditions for the movie Annie, and I lived in a little dirt town in South Carolina. And I packed my little suitcase and tried to convince my mom to drive me to a town 50 miles away so I could audition for Annie too. And she kept giving me excuses, and finally she was like, they're not looking for a little black girl. They're looking for a little white girl with red hair, which devastated me, but also made me even more defiant. And so I started ballet when I was 7. And I quit ballet when I was 15 to go to modeling school, and then I hated modeling, and I quit modeling, and I auditioned for performing arts school in Atlanta, and I got in. So that's where it started.
Nice.
Right on.
Way to follow a dream.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Thank you very much, Nazelah. One more time, give it up to Nazelah. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful day. Go out there, be careful, be safe.